and welcome to the Arts Council of Princeton. I'm Maria Evans. I'm the Artistic Director for the Arts Council, and I want to welcome you to our first virtual opening. We have joined the 21st century, and we're really thrilled to be here, especially in this gallery full of great work. So I wanted to give just a brief history of our member show. I've worked here for over 20 years, and when I first was here, it was in the old building, which some of you remember, and it started as a small work show because we have a tiny gallery, not much wall space, a lot of really good artists, and we had to keep everything very, very small. So when former director Jeff Nathanson started, we were doing a juried show for the small work show. And Jeff felt that that wasn't inclusive. It was, he just didn't like that jury system. So he said, from now on, we're going to do a member show, and we're going to welcome every member of the Arts Council into the gallery to show their work. And that's how it started. And it has grown to be an amazing show, as you will soon see. And this year, I was writing the prospectus a couple months before the member show, and I'm thinking, we're in a pandemic, our building's been closed, I'm going to increase the size quite a bit, which will make a lot of people happy, but I had no idea what to expect, because I thought, we're either going to have maybe 15 works to show, and then we'll have to make the best of it. Well, I have to tell you, when we opened the door, the very first day of entries, it was like Kmart before Christmas in a normal year. We had a line of people submitting entries, and it was so great to see. And so many of you told me that this is something that you were able to do this year because of the time you had, because of getting interested in art and creating. And so we're just so thrilled with it. And this is the biggest show we've ever had in this pandemic year. There is 118 pieces. If you've come to see it, you can see that it was set up salon style, and when all the pieces were coming in, I started thinking, oh my God, where are we going to put all these? But I had great help with installers, and they've done a beautiful job. And it's got sculpture, it's got textiles, it's got drawings, it's got paintings, and we're going to share all this with you tonight. So thank you for coming, and I'd like to introduce our Executive Director, Adam Welch, to say a few words.
Am I different?
Yes.
Hello, everyone, and welcome. My name is Adam Welch. I'm the new Executive Director here at the Arts Council of Princeton, and I gotta say, I am so impressed with the members. I think the work here is a great example of the breadth and the ability and the virtuosity of our community. I think that there's some real mastery of skill on display here, but also there's some great works of conceptual importance, and I'm just really awestruck about how large the range of work is. And I think that it's really exciting to know that the members of the Arts Council range from New York City all the way down to Philadelphia and New Hope, and we have so many lovely members that are right here in our very own community. I can't tell you how heartwarming it is to see so many artists producing, making art, and supporting their local arts council. So I think that's absolutely, absolutely amazing. So I gotta thank the members for that support, and thank you for dedicating your lives to the practice and the making of art. I also want to be sure to mention, I want to thank the entire board of trustees for the outstanding work that they do to help keep this great institution, this vital institution alive and well. And also our advisory board, can't thank them enough. And particularly for this exhibition, I want to make sure that I thank the gallery committee, Charles Vieira, Joe Casso, and Ryan Lilienthal for helping install a really, really exceptional exhibition. So again, I can't thank you all enough for coming tonight. I know it's a little bit different to experience a virtual opening, but I think we're going to give it a shot and see what happens. All we can do is have fun. And what we're going to do now, it's a little bit different perhaps than you're used to doing art. What we're going to do is we're going to do a slideshow of all the works in the exhibition so that you can see everything that's installed here. And also what's great about this is we have unlimited reach. If you're watching tonight, you can watch this slideshow from anywhere in the country, and this will be recorded and put on the website. So definitely go back and check the website later on. I think Melissa's going to go ahead and put that in the chat. And also, before I start the slideshow, I want to make sure that I thank all of the staff here at the Arts Council of Princeton. We have such an amazing group. You will probably know that better than I do, but in the few months I've been here, just in a really exceptional team. So I'm so thankful for the members, for the art, but also for the staff. So now, I'm going to start that slideshow.
So if you've not been in to see the show, I think you'll agree, or just from the slideshow, that this is a really impressive show. So I hope you enjoyed that. I wanted to say that gallery hours are Monday through Thursday from 11 to 6. And it's a really good time to come and see it during the week because it's not very busy. We don't allow more than 6 people in at a time. And on weekends, the hours are 11 to 4. When the majority of this art is for sale, and when you purchase the art, you not only supporting the artist, but you support the Arts Council of Princeton as well. So we are thrilled tonight to have some guests who are going to join us and to discuss their work. The first guest we have tonight is Judy Buckley. She has been a member for several years, and she is also the art teacher at Princeton High School. So I'm sure she's had a lot of experience with students this year, and she is going to discuss her beautiful piece of art. So I'd like to welcome Judy to our opening, and we will hear from her now. Thank you.
Maria.
Can you see us, Judy?
I can, but it says your host has stopped it. It should work now. Because the host has stopped it. Try again.
We can hear you, and I see your profile photo.
Right. I'm trying to unmute or unstart my video, which I've done at least a few Zooms every day.
Well, maybe what we could do is just show your work and you can just talk over it. Would that work? Would that be satisfactory?
Sure. I don't know why it's not starting. Let's see, video settings. There we go. You think that works? Oh, no, it's working on my end.
We can hear you.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I can't.
Your painting is on the screen.
Okay, awesome. Maria, you were so kind. Well, that's one of my pieces. I usually go down to the beach. I take a few photos and then I come home and work in my studio. This past summer, I've been pretty much consumed with clouds and the sky. And I think it's probably a metaphor for us all that we need to look up and look beyond and look to all the goodness that's ahead of us. Yeah.
Which beach is this, Judy?
That actually was a Lavalette. It's kind of unspecific, I guess, to some beaches. I like, the idea of people hanging out, slightly abstract. But like I said, I'm mostly focused with sky in my own area in Cranberry, as well as any beaches. I love the clouds. I've been taking some online classes over the summer, which I tell my kids at school, like, it's really great. We all need to work. I'm trying to get the video on, but that's okay. We all need to work during this pandemic time because I tell them it's probably the only time where we don't think about our immediate reality.
Yeah, isn't that true?
Yeah, and we get into a zone of an hour, half hour, or 2 hours, and it's like, wow.
It's like you've taken a vacation for.
Yeah, whatever it is, whether it's in the kids' sketchbooks, that I have them do, or their assignments that they do. And I try to tell them, get outside as much as they can, get the fresh air, draw outside, paint outside, look outside, because we all need that. We all need to see the beauty around us because there's really a lot. I find it in the sky, and everybody can find it in other places.
And when we were taking work in, there were so many people that just thanked us for doing this and for having this and being able to focus on putting a piece in. So I agree with you. It's been really important.
Oh, thank you, Maria, for giving us the opportunity. Even one of my students said, "Oh, Mrs. Buckley, I saw your work." So that was really sweet.
This is a watercolor, right?
No, it's actually an oil. I think it's a smaller oil. I've done a few variations of this piece, and a larger one. I think it was like 30 something by 20 something was sold via my website. And this, I think, was a smaller study for that larger one. I want to keep going bigger.
So did you take your oils down to Lavalette and set up on the beach and paint it right there? Or did you say you had a photograph?
Yeah, I would love to say I set up my oils.
That's so hard. You get sand in your paint.
I have actually, if I had the video on, and I do show my kids in my class, I'm really big into sketchbooks. And the sketchbook I have sitting right here in my studio, I do take that on vacation when we used to go on things called vacations to the islands and whatnot. And I take my watercolors, and right now, if I opened up my little watercolor container, there'd be sand in it and all kinds of. But no, I don't take my oils to the beach. Although I've taken, I have to give Christine LaFonte a shout out because I've taken classes from her when she was up in Maine. And we did sit by the rocks and the wind and the rain, or maybe not the rain, but we sat, on the shores of Maine with our oil paints.
Yeah.
Love her, and I probably could thank her for maybe some of the skills that I've learned.
Great.
This painting is about, what it was, about 18 by 16 or so.
Mhm.
I think that, personally, I love the scale. I think the scale works on this very, very well. And it's such an intimate scale when viewing it. It just, it sort of, it really seems like a memory. And yeah, I haven't seen the larger version, but I'm definitely a big fan of this size. I think it just really comes across wonderfully.
Oh, thank you.
And I love your painterly strokes. I think they work really well to show a little bit of not turmoil, but a little bit of tension built up in the clouds. I think it's really, really quite lovely.
Thank you. And a lot is somewhat, obviously a lot's from memory because those little splotches of color that indicates an umbrella or a person or a shadow were just, kind of moments of a memory.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Judy. Thank you for joining us so much, and thank you for participating and being a member and a supporter of the Arts Council. And we just thought this was a gorgeous painting, and so well done. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Maria.
Okay. And now our next guest is Andre Duke, and Andres has been an instructor for us here at the Arts Council for over 5 years. And I've always been impressed. There's no medium that Andres does not conquer. He is so talented. He also teaches at Stewart Country Day School, and he has a piece in our show called Voters. And so I'd like to introduce Andre Duke.
Are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Oh,
Can
great.
Can you hear me well?
Yeah, we can hear you. I'm gonna share the screen again.
Thank you.
Yeah, so Andres, could you tell us a little bit about your piece here?
Yes, well, this was a drawing inspired by Jean-Francois Millet. He painted these women, the gleaners, cleaning the fields after the harvest. And these are the poorest of the poor in a farmer's land in France. And I thought it was a beautiful image because, well, today many of our people in the United States and around the world are suffering because of the COVID crisis and also because of all the political issues that are happening with populist leaders. And I call this drawing Voters Planting Seeds for the Future. When I teach my students about art, I always try to give them ideas and inspiration from history, also from nature. And that was the inspiration that I had for this picture.
And can you just talk a little bit about when you work with markers? Because it looks like you do this in a very gestural way. Do you put pencil and then marker? You just it's completely marker from beginning to finish.
No, it is completely marker. It's a permanent marker. And I was looking at the painting, The Gleaners by Millet.
Yeah.
I love to experiment with different materials, pencils, oil pastels, watercolors, oil. But in this case, I wanted to have something that was very fast, and I didn't have any option of erasing at all. So I was looking at the picture and just took these two women who are in the composition. There is also a third lady who is standing next to them, but I thought these two figures become like a monument of our times. People who are working really hard and giving all they have and going through well, we have been going through a pandemic of this time. When Millet painted this picture, there was a revolution in France in 1848, and there was an awakening as well in the political arena of the world. People were trying to see how the cities were becoming more modern in many ways, and uh, the urban landscape was changing as well as the small villages. And we are facing very similar issues today when most of our great cities are suffering from economic turmoil and hardship, and our farmers are being left behind in many ways as well, even though they thought that by voting for a populist leader, they were going to have a better standing in their economic life. So it's very political in a way, but I think we always have to think about what is happening in our social life, and teach our students that art is not just something beautiful, but also meaningful, and it can bring ideas of activism and education to all of us. I learn so much from my students every day. They have so many beautiful ideas, and we learn from each other, how they draw, how they express their um, their worlds through paintings, drawings, ceramics. Um, so art is a process of communication to me.
Yeah, I'm so glad to hear you tell the story of this work, because all I had to go on was the title, Voters. And I kept thinking to myself, is this some form of voting, like making your mark in the ground? And I would look at this for quite a while and wonder what the process of voting was here. So I'm really glad to hear you tell the gleaning story. It makes so much more sense now to me.
Thank you.
So this piece is about, it looks like it's about 12 inches by 9 inches. And even though the computer screen sort of has it a sort of off-white color, the paper is quite bright. And one of the things that I noticed and really appreciated about this is that it has an engraver's-like quality to it. It does have a timelessness to it because of that sort of what one might call old-timey technique. And so I think that there's something about that coupled with the idea that these women are sort of also prostrate in terms of sort of bending down almost in worship. So it's interesting, you know, the title having a little connotation to, as you said, sort of the populace and the sort of the everyday people, the voters that, bring into the world, you know, certain politicians as leaders, and then, these two women sort of laying prone in front of, in front of that future. It's quite, it's a quite striking juxtaposition, and I think that the engraving, the quality of that ink to give that sense of engraving really catapults that effect. So it's quite lovely. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Millet, he lost his wife when she was 23 years old, and then he remarried and had 9 children. And all this life that he had in the countryside has a lot of meaning to the reality that he was trying to express. He was basically a realist. His paintings were with oils, and I'm trying to take 2 figures and create a new realism, or a magical realist image with these women.
Yeah. Well done, Andres, and thank you so much for being with us tonight.
Thank you.
Yeah, always a pleasure to speak with you. I'd like to introduce our third guest tonight. I believe is a new member, but I will let them explain that to us. We'd like to hear from Kasia Iwaniak, and she is going to talk about her piece, Portrait of a Man in a Pink Shirt.
Kasia? Kasia? Are you there? Kasia, are you?
Now do you hear me?
Now, we can hear you now. You're off mute. I'm gonna share the screen.
Yes, that's just oh, okay, I see the painting. Yes, thank you. Good evening. This is the painting in oil on canvas. Size is 20 by 16 inches. And I painted it recently this summer. It's done from life. I was very lucky to be able to paint with a few friends outside. We had our masks on, everything, distance and so on. And usually when I paint, I look for something special, for reason to spring into action, so to speak. And in this case, it was his pink shirt. And after that, of course, everything else, and his beautiful face and the look. I like the look, strong, full of life.
And did you say that you had a model for this painting?
Yes, it was a model. So from life, yes. I like things which are dramatic, expressive. I don't know if it's like you feel like that, but that's what I try to do.
It is very expressive.
You have a real great, I would say, sort of mastery of color. I think you've really put together a great palette.
Thank you. I love colors, to match colors.
And really use the brush and the strokes to emphasize and give real emotion to the painting. I think that, you know, in all of the background spaces and in the t-shirt and in the flesh as well, you've really used that painterly stroke sparingly, but with real energy and vigor. And I think that really sets this painting apart. And I think that it's really, really great to see. There's a lot of emotion, and you know, I think the color really helps support and catapult that a little bit more.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I really, really, really like it. It's one of my favorites in the show.
Thank you.
Now, Kasia, was I correct? Are you a new member for the Arts Council?
No, I was a member for many years, and I really am very happy to be a member of Arts Council. And thank you for all the classes, teachers, everything is great here.
We knew you were. We just wanted to get you. We were just trying to coax that out of you. That's really
No, I
great.
had it in my plan to say. I just took the moment.
That's really great. We really, really appreciate that. Well, I mean, I'll tell you, you know, like really your skills come across in a way that is sort of easy and, you know, without a lot of over dramatic sort of display. And I think that it has this real feeling of ease, and also, you know, a sense of grace to it. So I think it really, really works, you know, quite well. And I love how the model is sort of looking off into the distance, sort of aloof in a way, even though his face has a feeling of a little bit of, you know, sort of contemplation, but also with his hand held up like that, it creates this tension between his fist and the face, and it sort of, what's lovely about that is you have this sort of almost a bird-like shape in the background that helps sort of bring that tension, the vibrating tension between the hand and the head to a sort of a dramatic pause, and it's just really quite lovely. So thank you so much for submitting it, and thank you so much for being willing to join us tonight. Do you have any last questions?
No, I also think it's beautifully framed. So I don't know if you're making your own frames, but that really is a nice compliment to it as well.
That was just frame.
Yep.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so very much. This was so great. We're thrilled that you could join us today, and we look forward to seeing you in person.
Oh yes, you will see me.
All right, great. Thank you so much. All right, so I want to again thank everyone for joining us tonight. I think that this was so much fun. It was fun for me to be able to engage with people, and it was really fun to be in the space and to really show you what it sort of feels like to be in here. And we are open. You can see in the chat, Melissa's posting right now some of the gallery hours, and it's always, if you're going to bring a couple of people, it's always great to call in advance. We are doing COVID social distancing and a limited capacity in the gallery at one time. So if you're bringing a couple of people, please reach out to us first, and you'll be able to see things like what Maria said about Cassia's frame. These are things you can't really see in Zoom. And really to appreciate the work, really to appreciate any of the work, right? You have to sort of see it in person and get a sense of that painterly brushstroke to really get the full experience of seeing the work. And I just want to take this opportunity once again to thank you all for coming tonight and joining us. I had a lot of fun, like I said. Please be sure to look at this recording or the PowerPoint slideshow online. It'll be posted on the website. Melissa's putting information about the website in the chat now. And also, as Maria said, all of the works here, almost all of them are for sale. And when you do purchase one of these, you are supporting both an independent artist member and also hoping to support the Arts Council of Princeton. So please, have a look around, come and visit or look online and reach out to us if you're interested. Also, as you all well know, the membership is one way that you can support us here at the Arts Council of Princeton, but also you can go to the website and make a donation and help keep our doors open and keep us going. We're doing all kinds of great activities. We're doing all kinds of classes in person and Zoom, but as with many places around the country, around the world, certainly feeling the effects of COVID, and all your support has been a great reminder of the need and necessity of art and the role of art in our lives. So I want to thank you all very much for coming tonight. Have a good night. Thank you. Dun, 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 dun.